In a recent interview, Stephen Moore, co-founder of the Committee to Unleash Prosperity and author of a new study, raised significant concerns about the economic and national security impacts of President Biden's energy policies. The study, which reveals the dramatic repercussions of the Biden administration's approach to energy, has sparked a heated debate about the future of American energy independence and its broader implications. Economic impacts. Moore's study, conducted in collaboration with University of Chicago economist Casey Mulligan, outlines a stark picture of the current state of the American oil industry. According to the report, the United States experienced a $250 billion loss in oil outputs between 2021 and 2023. Moore attributes this decline to a series of policy decisions made by the Biden administration, starting with the cancellation of the Keystone XL pipeline on President Biden's first day in office. Joe Biden's first act as president was killing the Keystone XL pipeline, Moore remarked. Ever since then, it has been a war against American oil and gas. He cited a recent decision to take over 1 million acres of prime oil and gas lands in Alaska offline as another example of these detrimental policies. The direct consequence of these policies, according to Moore, is a substantial increase in gasoline prices. There's a reason the price of gasoline was only $2.49 a gallon when Trump was president and now in many markets is as high as $4 a gallon, he explained. This rise in fuel prices is attributed to the reduced domestic oil production, which could have been significantly higher with different policies. The study estimates that the U.S. could be producing an additional 2 to 3 million barrels of oil per day under a more aggressive drilling strategy. The economic repercussions extend beyond the gas pump. Higher fuel costs translate to increased expenses in various sectors, particularly in transportation and food distribution. If it costs more to deliver your food to the grocery store from the farms, then you're going to have those expenses added as well, Moore noted, highlighting the trickle-down effect on consumer prices and overall inflation. National security concerns. Beyond the economic implications, Moore emphasized the national security risks posed by current energy policies. He argued that reducing domestic oil production makes the U.S. more dependent on foreign oil, thereby empowering adversarial nations like Iran, Russia, and China. We are empowering Iran, and Iran is not just causing trouble in the Middle East, Moore warned. He pointed to Iran's activities in Latin America, particularly in Venezuela and the recent oil discoveries off the coast of Guyana, as evidence of Iran's expanding influence. Moore questioned the rationale behind policies that seem to benefit nations that are often in opposition to American interests. Who are the big beneficiaries of not producing enough energy in America? Well, there's Iran, there's Russia, there's China, there's OPEC, Moore stated. He suggested that the increased revenue from higher global oil prices enables these countries to fund activities that undermine global stability and U.S. security. Moore's remarks also touched on the geopolitical consequences of reduced American oil production. He argued that the influx of petrodollars into Russia's economy, fueled by higher oil prices, emboldened Vladimir Putin to initiate the conflict in Ukraine. There's no way in hell that Putin would have even rolled his tanks into Ukraine if it had not been for all the money that they're getting from these higher world oil prices, Moore asserted. Political implications. The interview with Moore concluded with a discussion on the political ramifications of current energy policies. Moore expressed his belief that a change in leadership could reverse the detrimental effects of the Biden administration's approach. He suggested that if former President Trump were to be re-elected, the U.S. would see a resurgence in domestic oil production. I guarantee you, Rachel, if Trump is re-elected president, we're going to be producing every single barrel we can, Moore proclaimed. He argued that increased domestic production would not only create jobs but also weaken adversarial nations by reducing their oil revenues. It's going to create jobs here at home, and it's going to hurt our enemies. What's wrong with that? Conclusion. Stephen Moore's critique of President Biden's energy policies underscores the complex interplay between economic stability and national security. His study, highlighting a significant loss in oil outputs and the subsequent economic strain, raises critical questions about the direction of U.S. energy policy. The debate over these policies is likely to intensify as the 2024 presidential election approaches, with energy independence and national security expected to be key issues on the campaign trail. As the nation grapples with these challenges, Moore's insights offer a perspective on the potential benefits of a more aggressive domestic energy strategy. Whether or not these recommendations will influence future policy decisions remains to be seen, but the conversation around America's energy future is undoubtedly far from over.